So once you got that, you get your sandpaper, and if you're using a new sandpaper, go real light. I like to use one that's already been used. And 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You can do more than 3 if you want. I really don't care, as long as it's not sharp. And then on the front right there. Run your finger, just make sure it's nice and smooth. There you go, people. That's a flat edge. Next up, let's get the backsplash. Okay, so our backsplash has a little 45 angle right here. So similar to our flat counter, you want to cut your strip 5/8 by 5/8, measure from here to there. Boom, you want it to end just before this. I'm not sure you can see, but this strip is a 1/16 shorter than this. Like I said before, that's okay. Now you want to cut another strip. Put a 45 on it. Make sure it's the right 45 so it fits there. Mark it and cut it right there. So it's important that this piece and this piece are flush when they connect. So right here. If you have a little bit of a gap right there, don't worry about this hole right here. That's going to be covered. But if you have a gap right here, there's none. But if it's like that, it's okay up to maybe 1/8 or 1/4. I wouldn't go past that. Okay, next. Grab your staple gun. Grab your 5/8 by 5/8 piece and your other 5/8 by 5/8 45 piece. Pro tip, clamp it down. Okay, so hopefully I'm not in the way, but get your piece of wood. I like to hold the gun between my legs, not between my butt cheeks. Put this down first, and first off, make sure that there's no glue. Sometimes you'll get a little bit of bead of glue here. If that happens, you get your knife. Clean that up. So check right here and right here. It's really annoying if you don't make sure that you do that. It's gonna screw up your whole counter. Next, strip, 45 strip. The important part, like I said earlier, is right here. So just make sure this strip is flat, and this, you're gonna wanna push against this one. Just like that. So make sure you're flush here like this, and make sure you're flush here. Grab your gun and drive one in. And similar to the flat counter, you want to put 5. Okay. When it comes to this, you want to place it. So make sure you're flush here and on the edges. So here and all along here, you're flush. It's a little tricky doing it and hold it like with the staple gun, but with practice makes perfect. Boom. So I like to do one staple on the bottom. That way I can kind of move it back and forth and adjust if I have to, even though I had it perfect. Okay, so first staple, drive it somewhere on the bottom here. The second one, I like to drive it higher up. So this piece of wood, the staple goes into this top strip. Just holds it a little more securely, in my opinion. Once you do that, you're just gonna wanna glue this. Same thing as last time. Get your piece of laminate, make sure it's the right color, and make sure it's the right side. Because this is, what is this, the right side? So if this was a left and you use this, it wouldn't work, right? So go ahead and do that. If you're using a roller, watch out for splatter. Got on my shoes. Beautiful. Alright. We've been through this before. Just want to glue it and wait for it to turn from white to clear. Takes about 20 to 30 minutes. I will check back with you then. Alright, same thing as last time. Put your counter, make sure you pull it. Now, because you have the backsplash, watch out for that, because sometimes you'll just not put it on right. So I like to kind of pinch it from both sides, that way I can feel the wood here and here, make sure I'm in, like that. Make sure you pull with this finger, just like that. And then I like to softly put it in, just press it in the middle so it's holding, and check the bottom right here, because sometimes you're gonna be a little too high. And check this, make sure we're all in. Yeah, Gucci, Gucci, Gucci. Okay. If you put it on wrong, just make sure you do not press it in fully, because then you'll have a hard time taking it out. But if you did it right and you lightly tapped it in, start with this end. If you start with this end, there's a tendency of this breaking. And just kind of finesse it off, and then you can just take it off if you'd like. But we had it on perfectly, so we're gonna put it back. Put it back, make sure, one more time, we're all good. And press it in. All right, so give special attention to this part right here. So I like to just get my file, and not too hard, but just make sure in this corner right here, it's pressed in. A lot of people seem to miss that. All right, so, like I did earlier, we can use the router and just shave this whole thing off. But we're gonna use the file now. So, just like that. All right, so we're gonna start with this end. We're gonna do the top first, and we're gonna take a special attention to that after. So, get your water. It's kind of tricky working around the camera, but I'm gonna try my best. So I like to, you can start like that even, but it's a little sketchy when you're starting like that. I like to just do a little small inverse, and that'll kind of start you off to go this way. Not sure if that made sense, but. So there you go, clean that up, same as last time. It's a little trickier when you're doing this with the file because the lip is here. So when you're doing the top end, you press down with your fingers and you have a straight flat edge. But here we don't have that. So you're gonna have to kind of freestyle it the best you can. But if you're uncomfortable, just use the router. And once again, this is the bottom, so if you fuck it up a bit, you know, you could just sand it, no one's gonna see it. All right, this part is a little, not tricky, but, so, same thing, you want this end to hit the laminate before this. So this is kind of gonna be up, and you push like that. So this motion up, and this motion. Probably looks stupid and doesn't make sense from that view, but if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. Anyways, start at the top, just like that. Keep the file as best flat as you can. All right, you got the back done. Flip the sucker over. Clamp. Now get your file, and once again we're going to make sure that our seam is good. All right, so similar to last time, we're going to start here. I'm going to do this edge first. Also, I wanted to say this earlier. it may be easier if you get a router and you router this down. Now you can router this fully instead of using a file, but it's a little tricky because the minute you go a little bit this way or this way, it digs into your countertop. It looks like shit. It is an option, but what I was gonna say as a pro tip is do the router, but don't go all the way down. Leave like maybe like a 1/16 of the laminate above, and it'll make it easier for you to file. Yeah, I guess I'll do it now. All right, see, this is exactly what I was talking about. See, I've been doing this for years, and I just scratched my counters. You know what, dude? I guess this is a good teaching moment. And here, you know what? I'm going to scratch this a bit with the file so you can see. Okay. So, if you can see, I it with the router right there. That's why you want to use the file. And this is what happens when you're filing and you're not flat. If you go like this, it's going to scratch and you get a white line like that. So stay flat, don't even touch the router, because I've been doing this for years and yeah, I'm an idiot. When you're filing this backsplash, you want to file the flat part as close as you can to this, but don't actually touch this curve. If you do, you're going to crack the laminate there. So if you can see, it stops right there, but I stopped, I don't know, 1/2 inch before. Next, you want to start at the top, all right? You want to file that off. Nice and easy. And now you want to hold your file at a downward angle like that and just push all that laminate. It's a little tricky. It's going to take some practice, but nice and slowly. And then you slowly go to the edge like that. And then just slowly, you want to go up and down. It's a little tricky, especially when the glue dries. Okay, now for the corner. All right, look at this motion, people, okay? This is important. You want to twist it up like that. So file, 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 and keep filing, but follow this curve up and let it lead your file. Just like that. And it'll clean out this corner for you without scratching it too much. And, oh, pro tip, use a rat tail file. So that's a file that's fully round, and you can get those corners perfect every time. It's a little tricky with this file, but hey, practice makes perfect. And then here, you want to kind of bend the paper like that 3 times. Work your way up, make sure you get this edge. And boom. Now, all that's left, put some water on. Clean up any excess glue, it's a lot. And voila, there you go. It's a finished end. Okay, here's just an up close of how it's supposed to look. So if you could see, I mean, there is a visible seam, but it's not that visible. If you run your fingers on, they should just nicely glide. Shouldn't be any bumps or, oh, a little bump right here actually. So you can keep sanding that down, or you can just file it. But be careful of over filing and over sanding, because you're just gonna scratch it. So, yeah. Hope this was helpful to someone.